Trump loses two pivotal allies in his anti-kneeling crusade, NASCAR and the NFL. Who does he have left besides the GOP? Kid Rock? Ted Nugent? David Duke? I'm encouraged by how much the public opinion has changed on this since Kaepernick first began his protests. Anyone that's still loyal to Trump will now view the NFL and NASCAR as enemies of the state. Anybody else wondering if this is all because Trump himself physically can't kneel? NASCAR just took a giant shit on Trump and used a MAGA hat to wipe their ass. Mike Clutch My Pearls Pence is curled up in a fetal position crying under his bed. He should be forced to personally reimburse the US for his stunt walking out of a game like a complete idiot. Every time Trump, or a trumpet, complains about not respecting the FLG and the anthem. This footage should be shoved in their face. https://www. YouTube.com/watch, v=uxt_s1whrcw. I do not understand why I don't see these images more often. It was shot at Trump's private Super Bowl party at Mar-a-Lago in fucking 2019, edit, it's 2020 actually. Don't worry guys, he's still got the KKK. I understand the NFL, but for NASCAR to do what they did, that is an incredible moment. Yup, now he will be telling everyone on Twitter to boycott the NFL and NASCAR. And watch Law and Order. Instead, don't worry Mr. President, you still have Rachie Corelli, infamous NASCAR loser. NASCAR does what NASCAR does best, apparently, turn left. Do all you non-sports fans realize he's hated the NFL for 40 years? He's never been a friend of the NFL. Does anyone else feel like Trump is now officially circling the drain and just sort of mailing it all in until January? I've said it before and I'll say it again anytime this subject comes up, I don't give a flying fuck what you do during the national anthem, but this fucking guy has no right to whine about being disrespectful. https://b/uxt_s1whrcw. Let's be clear. NASCAR and NFL fans have been and continue to be part of Trump's base. Just because the organizations have moved away, that doesn't mean it has changed anything with fans. If anything, the recent ban on Confederate flags at races has motivated Trump's base even more by perpetuating the idea that they are being persecuted. Asterisk as part of that, NASCAR issued a statement banning the Confederate flag from all events, just hours before Bubba Wallace, NASCAR's only top-tier black driver, made laps in a race car painted with Black Lives Matter. NASCAR was founded on "fuck the police." I believe, it's time that we as a nation, need to acknowledge, this man at the seat of high office, who is mandated to be our public servant, is neither deserving of that seat, nor does not see himself in the light of that honored service. His refusal to act on intelligence put forward to him of the coming epidemic and worse than inaction, his constant pushing of his personal agendas in a time of crisis has brought us here to this tipping point in history, to this fateful daily reality wherein the very lives of those we hold most dear and cherish are on the line, and even past that to a future that's so very precarious and uncertain. And in that aftermath of all the mistakes and missteps leading here, not once has the man leading our nation made an apology for his failure to lead, his erratic words or his complete inaction. Not once has made of acts of compassion or contrition, nor shown any semblance humility of humanity. We, as a nation, do not owe him our respect or our concordance, and we certainly need to stop making excuses for him to explain away his many shortfalls and endless straightforward lies. His removal from high office was stalled by the smallest majorities in the Senate. His absolution coming from men and women who supported him out of fear, greed, selfish ambition, or simply lack of strength of will. Our representatives have failed us. All these endless polls and pundits be damned. We need to stop looking at polls and look the truth in the eye. We all know this simplest of truths, the man we as a nation put into power is certainly not the man that can continue to lead our nation by any sane measure or tracks of logic. It is time for him to go away, forever and day. He may have lost the company NASCAR, but chances are he didn't lose the fans. So odd to me, the people who have never served this country are the first ones to question someone else's patriotism and love for our country. Then turn a blind eye to everything else going on in this country that this flag is supposed to stand for. WTF, now I love NASCAR. NFL player, kneels. Republicans, clutch pearls. In the comment section of that article, someone brought up a question I never considered before: why is it considered respectful to kneel before God but disrespectful to kneel before the flag or during the anthem? He's also lost the military. We may see generals drag him and Pence out of the White House in January, after they get decimated at the polls in November. Trump will sink to levels of weird and unsavory unimaginable before 2020, and, when that happens, there will be unimaginable backlash from his cult of Klan members and fascists. Remember that time Trump was on Hannity and disrespected the flag while at a military base by continuing to talk while the bugle signaled the flag was being lowered. https://www. Stripes.com/news/Trump continued to talk while retreat bugle call played. 492,297. He even joked that the bugle call was for Hannity, not for honoring the flag and all of the people that serve to protect the country. Like, for example, the people in the background of the video that you see stand when the bugle starts. What do Trump supporters have left for entertainment? It's just his cult vs. the world now. Imagine being farther right than NASCAR. 100 million people watched the Super Bowl. That is not Trump's base. There are teams representing cities, states, and regions across the country. You forgot Vince McMahon. Remember how the XFL was supposed to be the patriotism signaling league nobody asked for? You can't be against kneeling and support Trump if you have integrity. His comments about John McCain for being a POW make that impossible. Andrew Giuliani, a special assistant to the president who's worked as a White House liaison to sports programs, said there's been no president since Abraham Lincoln who's done more for the Black and Hispanic communities in the United States than President Trump. Ha 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 XD. If Pinocchio read this out loud, the tip of his nose would touch the sun and burn. Props to the guy though, being able to say that with a straight face is quite something. Fucking a swipe. Yet Trump stood his ground. He attacked Goodell, wondering whether the commissioner was telling players that it would now be okay for the players to kneel, or not to stand, for the national anthem, thereby disrespecting our country and our flag. After weeks of protest, Trump really thinks his racist base is all that he needs for re-election. Biden spent most of the time in the freaking basement and he's 14 points ahead. There is nothing any former supporter of Bunker Boy can do to redeem themselves as far as I'm concerned. That stench just doesn't go away. So I welcome these changes, but I remain cynical of these organizations. We have a pandemic, an economic crisis, and protests in the streets, and Bunker Boy is focused on kneeling. That says everything about his intelligence and competence as a leader. What an idiot. Nobody wants to be associated with a loser. Abandon ship. The kneeling debate is over and Trump lost. Everyone will be kneeling this year. I knew Cap would win eventually, but shocked that he won this quick. Just a couple more until he never said it. He still has the KKK and American Nazis, so he's content. Very good people. Someone has to say it. Trump is ugly AF. Trump is losing a lot of people. NASCAR. NFL. Women. Older voters. You would think Putin would realize Trump is a loser and ditch him. Screw the NFL though. They ostracized Kaepernick when it was just him and a handful of people, and now they're doing it because it's good for business. They had the chance to do the right thing and they declined.